Broker owners, team leaders, you should be doing this as an exercise annually with every agent in your office. For those of you that are solo agents on here, you need to be doing this yourself annually every single year in either November or December in preparation for the upcoming year. One of the things that is really, really important to me is it's not just about money. There's another piece about it. Okay. And that other piece is protecting your time and your life balance. Okay. So that is huge. It's often undervalued. People say they want it. The people that do say they want that balance and time, they don't do the activity. So a big part about every business plan that we coach on is also making sure we protect time. And right now it feels like agents have all the time in the world. They say I have great life balance because it's seasonality is impacted. It's the holidays and there isn't as much busy stuff going on. However, once the harvest season kicks in, spring and summer, then, unfortunately, the most beautiful times typically to be on time, kids are out of school, you want to take the most vacations, that's when agents are the busiest. So it's very inconvenient for real estate agents because that's when most agents, depending on where you live, that's where most agents, close 70% of their business is in the spring and summer when we want to have the most time off. So protecting your time is everything. And if you are in a business plan or a business formula where you're just planning on growing your business and not balancing your time at the same time, in other words, if the equation for you is more business equals less time because I got to handle more business, you are on a bad business plan. Something's wrong with that plan. That's not, someone didn't go to business school. That's not good because that doesn't scale. That doesn't work. At some point, you're going to top out, you're going to burn out, you're going to start losing other areas of your life. So something's wrong with that formula. Something's wrong with your business plan. So we always want to make sure that our plan and our career and our trajectory is, hey, more income means more time to do what I want to do, whether it's spend time with family, more time with spiritual pursuits like your church, health, fitness, hobbies, whatever. Drink at the bar, I care less. You get to pick that. My point is, you're trying to preserve those personal interests you have. The agents that get out there and say, well, I don't want to sell that much. I don't want to be like those top producers because, that just means I'm just going to, lose my personal life. Well, that's wrong. That is just ignorant because that's wrong. I mean, that may be the case for some agents that are following a bad plan, but it better not be yours. Okay. So that's number one. That's rule number one is that plan has got to account for your life balance, if that makes sense. Okay. So the next thing I would like to show you is a way we can guard against that. And you can check out our life balance wheel. So the first thing I want you to do, and you can see we've carved life balance into a pie here, right? And there's eight different slices of the pie. And we divide it all up. And what I like you to do when you get this is to go through each slice of the pie, and right outside the pie, I want you to write, where do I rank myself on a scale of 1 to 10 in each of these areas? Okay, that's the first exercise. Our coaches do this with our clients as well too. And it should be something you do eventually with yourself. Is a very important exercise, right? Like, let's start on the right-hand side with work, right? It's your career planning, workplace relations, business skills, income, things like that. Where do you rank your business on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest? And 10 being the perfect ideal career, everything you want it to be, making the most money, the most time, the most everything. How does work for you? Like, where are you right now? Are you a 4? Are you a 6? Are you a 10? Are you perfect? Where are you at? Socially, how much time are you getting for your, and everybody's 10's different. Socially, I mean, that may not be very important to you to have a lot of friends and to have a good group of friends that you like to hang out with. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm more of an introvert, believe it or not, so it's not a very big important thing to me. But it could be to you. Development with regards to, your personal development here, your intellect, your education. Are you reading enough? Are you learning enough? Your self-esteem, maybe recovery, fulfillment, recreation, arts, music, literature, sports, hobbies, things like that. Family, parents, kids, extended relatives. Are you seeing them enough? Are you around enough? Life planning, financial planning, retirement, goal setting, time management, those types of things. Spirituality, could be church, could be religion, could be, meditation, any type of spiritual pursuits you've got, relationship with any type of higher power, God, what's your life purpose, morals, ethics, that kind of stuff. Then your health, physical fitness, nutrition, diet, exercise, all that kind of stuff. So I want you to rank all those on a scale of 1 to 10. And then I want you to go back and take a look at where your lowest numbers are. And you'll start to see some gaping holes in there. If you put yourself at a 3 and you want to be at a 10, because 10's where you want to be, 10's you performing at your peak level, you couldn't do any better. And if you're down there, below a 5, some of those areas, some of the activities that you put on your business plan better be purposeful activities that get you to a 10. That's the key. Like, they got to get you on the road to a 10. That's the absolute key. Okay. So really, really important. But let's protect your life balance and make sure you do that exercise. Don't shortchange that. Please don't. Because then you're going to come to us, like many of our clients come to us, and they've got no life. They've been through a divorce. They're drinking too much. They're making tons of money, but they don't have money. That's what ends up happening to people that start a business plan that's just geared, I need more money, I need more money, I need more money. Don't do that. You'll start making decisions down that path. Make sure you always watch your time. Every decision you make. When you're young, just to let you know, when you're young, like when you're 20 years old, the decisions you make, are like, I need more money. You don't care about time. You'll work like nuts. I remember myself, I'm 25 years old. I don't really care. I'll work 80 hours a week. I just want money, right? I don't have kids. I got my baggage, nothing. I'm just going to freaking work. I want money. That's all you want when you're young. And then as you get older, when you make decisions, so you make all your decisions based on how much I'm going to get paid, not how much I'm going to enjoy things, not how good, hopefully, how it takes your career forward and things like that. You don't really worry about time so much, but as you get older, now I'm post 50, time is much more important to me than money. So my decisions now, but along the way, it's a sliding scale. As you get older, you move into your late 20s, your 30s, your 40s. As you get older, you start making more decisions based on time. As you gain more responsibilities, you gain kids, you gain other obligations, your life develops more. And then time, like, well, how much time is that going to take me? How much time? So all of a sudden the time factor starts to sneak in. Then as you get later in life, time becomes almost everything. And the money, you've accumulated more wealth by then, hopefully, and the money doesn't matter nearly as much. So it is that sliding scale, almost like an amortized loan, where at the beginning of your loan, all of your payments are going towards interest. And at the end of your loan, all your payments are going towards principal. And in the meantime, somewhere in the middle of that 30-year amortized loan, maybe year 15 or something like that, it's 50% interest, 50% principal. Kind of the same thing's true. You get people around age 40 to 45. At that point in time, you start making decisions both based on time and income. So make sure time goes into the equation, and make sure you have some other pursuits that you need to devote some of your energy towards. All right. With that being said, I'm going to leave all that alone. Your life balance is on you. I want you to know that's important, but that needs to go in to your business plan. I'm going to focus primarily the rest of our conversation on increasing your income next year. And that's why. Okay. So with that being said, let's jump into it. First thing I want to show you, before we actually create your business plan, we have to know what we're talking about. So what I'm going to show you now is your ICC business tracker. And I think you all can see that now. This is a file. It's an Excel spreadsheet. We use Excel because it does jive with most humans. It can be easily converted to a Google Sheet too. So when I'm giving you tools, as opposed to things just to look at, I have to deal with lots of different operating systems. And this is the one that can, go across different operating systems. So don't call me old. I got to find something universal for you, right? So this is an active living document here, and it helps you track your business and helps us prepare our business plan, right? So, broker owners, team leaders, you should be doing this as an exercise annually with every agent in your office. For those of you that are solo agents on here, you need to be doing this yourself annually every single year in either November or December in preparation for the upcoming year. And you can see this form as we scroll down, there's really three pieces to it. The top is just your general goals, okay? So we start with, and we got to fill some of this stuff in. Anything in blue needs to be filled in by you, okay? So that's where you need to actually get involved. The rest of the form auto-populates. I know some of you, when you especially use social people, when you see spreadsheets, you just freak out like, oh, that's so painful. I hate even looking at them. I get it. Don't worry, this is a friendly one, and you'll see really quickly why that is. So don't freak out. But at the very top, it talks about your transaction goals. So we're going to start with the amount of transactions you want to close. I put 350 up here. Maybe that's an entire brokerage. Maybe that's the brokerage's transaction goal, or a very high producing team, maybe. So they might put a big goal in there so we can develop our team goals based on this. You can also do this with solo agents as well too. Just depending on how many transactions you want to close. Let's say that you want to close 25 transactions. Okay, so I hit return. Now everything is going to change, right? We're also going to talk about, then we're going to scroll down, and it's going to ask us, even though your average commission might not be $11,000, don't worry, leave it alone. It'll change once you fill in the blue. Okay. The only thing you touch is the blue. All right. So then I want you to determine what percentage of your sales come from buyers versus sellers. All right. So, if you don't know, or you're new or something, just put 50-50. That's pretty normal out there. Generally speaking, it's 60-40 at most. 70-30 is getting a little extreme. You might, it's not good if you're getting 70% of your business from buyers. We need to get more listings, or you're going to start working too hard. Buyers take a lot of time, 4 times as much time as sellers do. So we definitely need to start shifting your business towards sellers, which means you need to lead generate more, because buyers will come to you a lot easier. So that's really key. Plus, you're a secret agent if you work with buyers. No one sees you working. The sellers get all the credit. So we really want you to be out there with signs, so you're marketing listings a little bit more. 60-40 is all right. That's fine. That can just change from year to year too. I mean, it could just be luck of the barrel with people in your sphere of influence happening to buy more that year, things like that. So, but 70-30 starts to get a little scary for me if you're buyer side. But if that is what it is, and maybe you're brand new and that's how it's going to have to work because you're sitting other people's open houses, or most of your friends are just buying, they don't have anything to sell yet because you're younger. Okay. Then that's fine. It is what it is. So wherever you get most of your business, and next year you can speculate where it's going to be, we're going to pop that in there. Okay. Now the seller side will auto-populate. So again, just put in the buy side there on the percentage from buyers at the top. Then what's your average commission in the area? And that varies from, different locations to other. It could be, I hope you don't discount your commissions a lot. However, if it's common for buyer's side to be paid out 2.5%, and you're 50-50 in your area, you charge, in other words, 50% buyers sides, 50% seller sides that we talked about above, and you charge 3% on the listing side, then your average might be 2.75% like I've left there. However, if you're in an area where, you charge less, maybe it's 2.5%, a lot of times luxury markets, real high-end luxury markets, well above the national median home price of $360,000. You've got an average price up there of like $850,000, $900,000. Sometimes it's more common to be able to get listings to charge 2.5 on the listing side too. I hate it. I don't think you need to do that. But if you're in the habit of that and I can't change your mind on how to get that up to 3%, because that's not for this call, then put that in there. Whatever number you got in there, put it in there. Okay. So then I'm going to go down to your average sales price. Let's say your average sales price is, let's just move it up to 500,000. Well, that's all of a sudden going to change everything, right? Your commission's going to change. Your goal for your gross commission income, this is how much income you're going to make from the sales of the property. That's going to be there. So all of a sudden we've got a commission income goal, right? Just by filling out those 4 blue boxes, based on your transaction goal, it's going to calculate how much your commission will be if you hit your goal. So now all of a sudden we got a goal for our business planning all of a sudden, right? Like we have a big goal, right? We got a commission amount, or we could use a transactional goal. We got to keep our goals smart, right? They got to be specific. They got to be measurable. They got to be achievable. So if you're a brand new agent, your goal is to sell 500 houses this year, that's not achievable. It's just not realistic. So let's don't do that. It's got to be attainable. Okay. It's got to be realistic too, right? And it's got to be time bound. So we're going to use the time. It's really easy in real estate. Just do them a year at a time. Yeah, it's good to have 5-year and 10-year goals, but right now we're going to focus on 1-year goals. Specific and measurable, which means you got to use a number. It's got to be either, units closed, which are transaction sides, total sales volume, GCI. I like those best. You could also do net profit. If you know how to track that, I'd get a coach for that. But I would say units, homes sold, or commission income is all fine. Any of those. They're specific. We can tell if we're ahead of them or behind them at any point in time throughout the year, which is really important for you guys. Okay. Now, down below, seller information. Remember, you set up here how many percent are buyers and how many are going to be sellers. Now we're going to go down here. You got to admit, this is freaking pretty awesome. You guys are going to love this if you don't have this. I mean, this is great. If you coach agents or train agents, you got to have this too. If you're doing this yourself, you got to have it too, right? Isn't it the wonders of spreadsheets? Okay. Now your percentage conversion rate. Okay. Your percentage conversion rate. So again, we're going to work on this one a little bit backwards though. So I like to start down here and say, okay, so if we have seller leads, where are they coming from? If they all come from your sphere of influence, from people your conversion rate's going to be a lot higher. When they call you and say, hey, I'm thinking about listing my house, you might get a conversion rate of converting those into closings or converting them into an appointment. Well, let me come take a look at your house. You might convert at 95% of those. But if you're getting leads because you prospect for expired listings, or you door knock, or you circle prospect, or you convert online leads that you pay for from Zillow, on the seller side, you get some of those too. Who knows? There's so many different ways you might farm neighborhoods. Who knows? Whatever your conversion rate is, it just depends on how you lead generate. And I love all the different ways to lead generate. We coach them all. We train them all. We're very customized how we coach people. So I don't believe in just one way. I'm not that guy at all. That is not the coaching company we are. Most people we coach generate business lots of different ways. They have different pillars of income from different lead generation sources, depending on changes on the market and things like that. So we really like to diversify our income so we don't get all freaked out when sales volume goes down or prices go up or markets do things. That's realtor talk. We don't coach realtors, we coach business people, okay? Which means we diversify our lead generation strategies and move forward. Okay, enough of the sales pitch of why I'm awesome. Back to your conversion rate, pump that in. Let's say it's 80%, okay? Because you're all SOI, you're hoity-toity. I convert a lot of them because all my clients love me and know me already. Super duper, 80%, we throw you in there, okay? And then when you go into the appointment, let's say you convert 95% of them because you only go if they really want to sell, right? So very rarely do they tell them a price and go with somebody else. You're locked down in your listing appointments. So we're going to put you in at 95%. Okay. What percentage of the listings you put up actually sell and go under contract? We get a buyer offer. That may depend on where you're at. If you're in a hot real estate market, almost every house you put up for sale might go. But if they're sitting a little bit right now and sellers are still unrealistic with prices, who knows? Maybe it takes a little bit longer. I'm going to keep 90% in there. That's a good number, right? And then when they go under contract, what's your fallout rate? How many of those fall out and don't end up closing where you make an income? Let's move that back up to 90%. Okay. Who knows? Right. So I throw that in there, hit return, changes all my numbers. So if I have a goal of 25 closed, now I know it tells me how, look at this. It tells me how, it tells me exactly how many leads I need, how many listing appointments I need to take in a year. It tells me how many sellers I got to close based on the percentage I expect or want to get. It tells me the seller sold volume I'm going to need. It tells me how many listing appointments I need to go on monthly, how many listing appointments I need to take monthly, and how many sellers I need to sell monthly. And then it tells me I need 0.35 listing appointments a week. If I change that goal, you want to close 50 transactions up here, boom, everything changes. Now I got to sell 2 listings a week, 2.6. I need 41 leads annually to get it. And I need, closer to 1 listing appointment a week. It's, 0.7-ish, 0.68. Buyer side works the same way, right? Except we're using buyer consultation appointments, okay? So if someone wants to sell, how often do you sit down and plan out their attack rather than just jumping to show them houses and start showing them houses that way? I mean, that's very unprofessional to me. I hope we teach you a good sales process where you sit down and plan out attack. You won't have them buying with other people when you do that. If you actually plan out attack and set expectations, they're going to work for you, right? And again, buyer agency agreements, all top producers use them. I know a lot of you say I don't like to do that. Well, then don't get mad when they buy with somebody else. But if you don't know how to use one, that's a problem for you. I'm not going to overcome that objection with a bunch of agents right now. It's one of the most common objections, though, out there for my 35 years plus in real estate. But again, it's going to tell you how many leads you need based on those conversion rates. Someone says they want to buy a house. What percent do you convert them? Again, a lot of online leads, if they're pay-per-click or, Google AdWords type leads or Facebook leads, it's going to be a real low conversion rate. That might be down at 5-10%. So again, but if they're SOI leads, it's going to be really high. Going to be higher than 75% possibly, right? And then how many of those can you convert to an actual appointment? Just so you know, like Zillow might be like around 10%. If it's Google local service ads, that might be a little bit higher. That might be up at, 20, 30%, maybe even 40 or 50%. Depends where your online leads come from. Depends where your buyer leads come from. Buyer listing appointments. Again, that's when you sit down and have a buyer consultation, right? And what's your conversion rate to get them to sign a buyer agency agreement? That's usually very, very high if you know how to do it right. And then of the agents of the clients that you start showing property to after they sign the buyer agency agreement, actually put in offers that get under contract. Maybe that, got to be able to find them a home and get that offer accepted. So, what's your local market like? Are you in a market where there's still competing offers? People are still negotiating with multiple offers. Most of the country still experiences that. It also depends on the price range. If you got a buyer that's looking around the median home price, it's going to be very competitive around median home prices. Luxury market, not so much, might have a higher conversion rate. So that all depends on you. Every market's a little different right now. That's for sure.
And speaking of markets, Brian, Joanna Stalker says transactions you count only sales or rentals as well. I think that kind of depends on the market too, right?
A little bit louder there, Anissa.
It says transactions you count only or rentals as well.
You could do it both ways. That's for darn sure. You could certainly, if you went rentals, I'd put them on the buyer side. If you get paid based on tenant commissions. If that's what she means by rentals. So if she gets paid if you're in an area where you get paid based on tenant commissions, I'd throw them over there on the buyer side. Sure. Same deal. Same process. Thank you. And then as we move through all the way through, again, it's going to calculate everything. How many buyer consultation or tenant consultation appointments you want, how many buyer contracts taken monthly. And just for say on rentals, you could, when you meet with the owner and list the rental, that would be on the seller side. Okay, just to help her out over there too. On the tenant side, it'd be on the buyer side. And then 2 buyers close monthly. And I would factor how much you get paid on those rentals, depending on how you get paid. That's different for everybody as well too. Usually it's paid on the gross receipts, a percentage of the gross receipts of the total lease amount, or the amount of the rents paid over the entire period of the lease. If that's the way you do it too, you got to use that when we calculate your commission. We got to average that in if rentals are a big part of your income. So make sure we include it over here as a part of your percentage. Okay. So it's going to tell you how many buyer listing appointments you need monthly, how much you need to, how many buyer sides you got to close, all based on the same. Then we're going to move down to this listings needed form down here. Same deal. Okay. So again, we need to find out how many listings you need to hit your goals. There's only 2 things we need to figure out here, right? I want to find out what is the average days on market in your area. Okay, so you're gonna have to go into MLS to find that one. Don't think you're in a hot market and most houses are selling in 3 days. That is not the case. Even in the middle of 2021, where all houses were flying like hotcakes with multiple offers, average days on market in your MLS was still usually around 30 days, 40 days. Why? Because there's always some overpriced listings out there, right? They're there, and that just throws the averages off. Go in there and use the averages, okay? Find your ADOM, your average days on market, by looking at your DOM under your in your MLS, your days on market. Find that, pop it in. And then again, what percentage of your listings sell? So if you take an active listing, you're gonna have to know that just based on your experience. And that's based on how well you price homes, how good your scripts, dialogues, and tools are with getting people to price homes competitively so they actually sell. If they're out there fishing a lot and some of your homes don't sell and they pull off the market, that means we need to work on our skill development there a little bit, but B, we got to put that percentage in there for now. Right? So let's say that only 80% of your listings sell, then that's going to change your numbers a little bit. And it's going to tell us basically at the very end that, again, it's using all the numbers we pulled above. It's going to tell you that you need to always have 6 active listings at all times to hit your goal of 50 transactions a year. Remember, I changed the goal to 50 earlier. So that means you always got to carry 6, which means you need 6 right now. You always got to have 6 up there. And that really serves to motivate you at all times. You're always pushing, always pushing, always pushing. Okay? So those forms will help you back off. I mean, now we get very actionable. Like we know how many appointments we need per week. Are we ahead or behind that? How many we need per month? How many leads we need per week, per month, throughout the year? Now they're actionable. Goals aren't just sitting in a shelf hoping we make them. Like we know we can actually focus on the activities first. And in my book, The High Performing Real Estate Team, which Anissa, why don't you throw that into the chat? I talk about the key for any organization, even if you're a solo agent organization, but if you're a team or a broker owner, get this book too. It talks about the 5 key components. One of those is you always got to focus on activities, not the results. You have to be on activity-based indicators to succeed. Otherwise, you're just hoping the results happen. So that's a big point of this. We got to focus on those activities that get you the results you want. Those are what you can control. Those are what are ahead of you every single day that you can do something about. Results are just what happened. And if you just look at what happened, then you're going to be one of those agents that worries about the market all the time. Like, I'm not going to make much business and make much income next year because the market's down. That's not an agent that's going places. I'll tell you right now, that's an agent that worries they can't control. They can't up their activities. They don't know how to get back to work. That's an agent that's coming out of scarcity, not abundance. You don't want that type of person running a business. And remember, I mean, you're the mayor of your own crazy town. So, I mean, if you're a solo agent, you're running your own business. I might hire someone else. That's when I'd probably get a coach. That's bad stuff. You can't run a business that way out of fear. That's not a good leader. And you got to lead your business. Okay? So that's why it's so important. We always got to be motivated. And if you don't have 6 listings right now, guess what? You're not on track to close 50 without really gunning it over spring and summer. And don't gripe to me if you don't get to see your kids and stuff over the summer or have a lot of life balance over the summer, because you have to make it all up there. We got to push. Okay. We got to push right now. We should be very, very motivated. Okay. Very, very important. Yeah. The buyer listing appointments that I'm seeing in there. Yeah, buyer listing basically means buyer consultation. Do you get a buyer agency agreement? Just to answer that question. So that's just another term. A lot of people will call them buyer listings. That means you sit down in a buyer consultation, as opposed to being one of those Johnny on the spot agents that just meets buyers out at the house. The conversion rates are real low when you just do that, typically at a high level. Wastes a lot of time and efficiency too. It's bad practice. It's just like when you go see a doctor, he does a checkup ahead of time. He weighs you, measures you, puts the tongue in there too. So you always want to say you just refer to a buyer listing as buyer consultation appointment. That ought to help you. So that's where that works. Okay. So that's the idea. And the link to my book is in there too. If you guys want to get that on Amazon, be sure to give me, 5-star Amazon reviews and things like that. Tell a friend. Okay, so moving on. Now I want to show you your business plan. Now that we know our numbers, we know where we need to focus. We need to focus more on listings, appointments, maybe even tracking throughout the year, maybe getting a coach, those types of things. But we know what our big goals should be. All of that came off that form. So now we got to put it in a business plan that we actually use, because I hate business plans that we don't use. They drive me crazy. You get a plan, you never look at it again. So we're going to use a format called the 135. This is used through all different businesses. It's a very old plan. I love it. It's my favorite because it fits on one sheet of paper and it's simple. It's not some big book or things like that. It's something you can use because your business plan needs to be looked at weekly. I recommend putting it visibly in front of you, having it on your screen, on your desk. If you run a team with other people involved or a broker owner, it should be in your weekly leadership meetings every single week. So we make sure we're focused on our activities. It should be one meeting per week, always looking at this plan, even if you're a solo person. Because if not, you're just going to get caught up in the status quo and you're just going to deal by default at all the business and activities that come at you, which means you're never going to be focused on growth, which are the activities you need to do to hit your goals. You're just going to wake up and respond to emails and text messages all day long and answer phone calls all day. That's low producer mentality. You got to be doing something, pushing forward towards activities that get you to your big goal top. The reason we call it a 135 plan is because you have one big goal at the top and it's numerical. Remember, it's SMART, like we talked about. In this case, I used 45 transactions. Okay. Could have been GCI, gross commission income, could have been total sales volume, which is when you add up all of your home prices, the prices of the sales of all your homes. Okay. If you double end a property, you're in an area where you're allowed to double end properties, you actually count those twice. Those are 2 transactions, or you double the purchase price twice for your sales volume. Okay. Then we actually say, we try to choose 3 general focus areas. This is the 3. We got 1, 3, and then 5 down below, right? So we have 1 big goal, 3 focus areas, and 5 objectives for each of those focus areas. Then we picked 3 focus areas. This solo agent picked establishing an online presence, lead generate for new business daily, and then they're going to organize their sphere of influence, the group of people, the book of business of people that they know that might sell a house at some point in time, in their CRM, their customer relationship management system database, and systematically grow and contact it over time. Okay. Notice that's all geared towards the goal. Their online presence is to actually get out there and generate more business to increase their number of transactions. They're going to lead generate for new business every single day through different sources. And then they're going to get their sphere of influence, which they're going to work in their database to get more business. Not a bunch of other stuff that is not in direct alignment with that goal. And then we're going to break down each of those. And here's some more specific baby steps we're going to take to further those focus areas. So these are smaller objectives that all are geared, so it keeps us very focused, right? They're going to set up and again, you're going to get a copy of this plan. Everything I show you, you're going to get a copy of. So remember that too, right? They're going to update all their social media network profiles. They're going to create personal landing page linking their social media networks. They're going to complete 4 agent websites, one website for seller, buyers, their farm websites, maybe landing pages, a blog even. They're going to locate and attend 3 training courses on internet lead generation. They're going to develop a blog theme, create an action plan. This is someone who's going to get kind of techie, right? Then they're going to lead generate every single Monday for 3 hours. They're going to meet with an accountability partner every Monday morning at 10 a.m. to hold them accountable to make sure they actually do it this year. They're going to be faithful to their calendar. They're going to time block their lead generation times in the morning. They're going to role play with scripts and accountability partner. They're going to obtain 3 new listings and 3 buyer contacts and 4 closed transactions per month. Then they're going to work on their sphere of influence or their center of influence here. You're going to see they're going to contact all of their family, friends, past clients. They're going to contact 50 people per week. They're going to enter all contacts into a database management system. They're going to add 10 new contacts per week to the database. They're going to intend CRM trainings to help they get everybody uploaded and created, and then launch campaigns in their CRM that they keep telling themselves they're never going to use. They don't like it. They want to get a new one because they never learned it. Just use the freaking CRM you got or your company gives you guys. Stop it. They all work just fine. Systemize campaign contacts in your calendar. Okay, so that's what they're going to do every single time. The same 135 format will work for teams. We got a team business plan here. Don't worry, I got one for broker managers coming too. Teams are going to have bigger goals, right? They got 50 million in sales volume. They picked a sales volume goal this year. They're going to focus on customer service, lead generation, and hiring and recruiting. Now, you're going to see that a lot. Hiring and recruiting should always be on there for teams too, because they're always trying to increase personnel. That's how you play Monopoly with hotels, not houses. You bring on an agent, you get 25 transactions possibly from an agent each year, as opposed to just one listing at a time. So we're always trying to grow personnel on teams if we want to grow. Just increasing production alone is not going to move the needle fast for you. Sorry. So that is what it is. Customer service, their admin assistant on the team is going to conduct 30, 90, and 120-day follow-up calls to clients after each closing to suggest vendors for improvements and ask for referrals and check in on people to increase customer service. They're going to produce a team pre-listing video, introducing the team to send to clients before the listing appointment to further impress them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Same thing with lead generation. Then they're going to, looks like, bring on some agents and some admin. They're going to hire an inside sales agent to do some lead generation for them, things like that, blah, 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 all the way through. Okay. So that's what that team plan looks like. Same thing. 1 big goal, 3 focus areas, 5 objectives for each. Now let's move on to that broker owner business plan, right? Same thing for a broker owner. Bigger goals here. Let's say it's they got 15 million in total GCI. That's a larger brokerage. They're going to focus on recruiting, agent retention, and operating assistance. You're going to see they're going to focus and they're going to track activities on how many recruiting appointments, how many events the recruiter is going to attend, how they're going to use social media to recruit. Retention, it's going to be increasing training and production of the agents, adding value back at them, maybe create a productivity coaching program, hold the broker, try to engage agents by reaching out to them every single day, hold more training classes in the office, give out more awards, market on behalf of the agents, then increase operating expenses, implement a new agent training and onboarding calendar, things like that all the way through. So we use this with our broker owner clients. Again, we've got different coaches that coach all different types of people, depending on who you are. These are things we coach on. That's a sample plan for a broker owner as well too, okay? Now, also for you guys, we're going to give you a fillable form like this. You're going to see this in the download too. So this form, it is fillable. You can literally type in here your goal at the top. It could be, like I said, 25 homes per year. That might be your goal, okay? So you can fill this in and type it so it's nice and neat and modern and futuristic like ours is. You can put your focus areas right down here and all your objectives down below. So I hope you like that one as well too. So don't worry, I got one more for you. Thanks for the people that are recommending the book. That's awesome. So the wheel form is not fillable. I see that question there. I do have one more form I'm going to show you guys. So don't log off. I know I'm going a little bit longer. That's what I do. I talk. That's why I'm talking a lot faster. I can talk really, really fast though. The wheel form is not fillable, but you can handwrite on it too, things like that. And you can, write out to the side to do the 1s and 10s. I just handwrite on them as well too. So that's where that works. We can see the marketing content calendar. I want to show that up to you too, because now that we know your business plan, we know where you want to be, then, and we've decided if you're, a team or brokerage, you might be getting the input of other people. Right? If you're a solo person, I recommend talking to your spouse too, to realize, hey, I'm going to be doing all this stuff, because now we're putting a lot more action into your life, right? Guys, we're going to create a business plan and you're going to have a lot of tools that are going to excite you and you're going to love them. And I've talked all about all the different activities you need to do to grow your business. So you don't just log into your computer every single day and answer your email. You actually do things to help you get more business so you actually hit your goals. So, those 135s are an entire page of all this different stuff you're going to do in addition to what you've been doing, handling the status quo, responding to emails, phone calls, and texts all day. If that's what you're doing in any business, you're not getting ahead. You're not pushing. That's a very sad place to be. And it's on you. It's not your manager, your office, your coach, or anything. It's all on you. If you want to actually change your business, do what all the top producing agents do, because they all get coaches. So I'm going to say that to you right now. Get a freaking coach. It costs $1,000 a month. I know that seems like a lot. It's $12,000 a year. If we can't get you to pay for that in your first year, we've got a really big problem. We average an increase of anywhere from 38 to 42% increases in GCI every single year, including last year to this. We're on track for that again. I don't think the year's over yet, but that's the pulse we have. We hit our goals at all times. So again, there's no way you're not going to cover that cost. You have got to invest in your business at some point, both your time and a little bit of money. If you're a business owner, that's just the way it works. And we're all business owners, even if we're solo agents. It's just a matter of whether you're a good one or a bad one. A bad one does not invest time and money in their business. They say they don't have time, they make excuses, and I don't have enough money, I can't afford it. Those are the two things that bad business owners do. Unfortunately, you have to be a leader to be a successful agent, or you can just wait around till all your friends just start using you and just hope that you like that amount. And that does happen. There's tons of agents sell 15, 20, 30 houses a year, and it's just whoever calls them. And that's all they do. I don't know that that's a business. That's more like an order taker, and they have no control and they have no plan. So again, I wouldn't do that. That's your traditional realtor. Okay, that's your traditional realtor. I hope I'm talking to business people that actually can take charge of their business and do something about it. That starts with a self-awareness that you can't do it yourself. Okay. I know I can't, people can't, just the same reason you can't go to the gym when you need to, you can't diet when you need to, you can't stop drinking when you need to, can't get yourself to church when you need to. All those things you need to do typically need someone else to get involved, because up here is crazy town. You're the mayor of it. You got to understand that right away. Top producers are self-aware of that. They've been educated on that. They're not ignorant to that. And they spend the money. And that's why all top producers have a coach. So if you want to do what they do, don't just think you need to learn what they're learning to do. That's the big thing they're doing. Just here to tell you, I know that's self-serving, but I promise you, that's why I started this company. I've been in this business for a long time. I own lots of brokerages. I own mortgage companies. I own title companies. I own lots of real estate too. The reason I've done this towards the end of my life, or middle of my life, I should say, is because I know this is the biggest thing the industry needs. If I get more people to do it, I get more people successful. And it's the reason that 80, 90% of the business does not succeed in real estate and operates below the poverty line. Okay. That's why 33% quit every year and 87% of real estate agents don't make it 5 years. That's the reason. Okay. That's why those numbers are where they are, because they just can't make enough income. Here to help. All right. With that being said, I'm going to share one. So the link to get a free coaching consultation is in the chat room. Please jump on that link and talk to one of our coaches for free. What could that hurt? Talk and get an idea. It's right there to sign up for that. Okay. Just fill out, it's a quick 10-second form and we'll be in touch. Okay. I'm going to share one last tool with you, and then I'm going to answer some of your questions. So this is our marketing content calendar. Now that we have gone through our business plan, we can actually start creating a calendar for next year. And the first thing we're going to talk about is marketing content. Again, this is all fillable, downloadable. It's an Excel spreadsheet. That way I know you can all use it. It's going to be included in the link with all the files. And if you scroll down here, it just goes by month, January, February. We can market around this, right? We can have client events around this. We can market to those client events. All the way down. It actually gives you some of the national days. My wife knows every one of these, because my wife has this huge real estate team that sells hundreds of houses in Central California. And you can see, she does lots of these, right? So these are all these different days. Every single week, there's like one or two of them, it seems like. Different things you can market around and send out materials around and add value around and create videos around and things like that. So we're going to create videos is this first column, or the third column after first column after national days, third column from the left. And then you can see we're going to have emails that might go out about them, social media posts, pop by ideas, right? You could, look at this, popcorn day, just popping by, gang. That's always great for your marketing content, mail out ideals, client events, promotional ideals, vendor spotlights, things like that. All the way down. You can fill this in throughout the year, and there'll be a lot of blank spots in here, obviously. So you don't forget any April, May, June. You've got to follow. There's something I'd pull up every single week with my team, with my organization, to make sure that we're creating, marketing content leading up to them in advance, often weeks or months before. Like if you have some big client events, you're going to possibly be months before to increase your contacts to all your people. Because it's a game of contacts. You got to have reasons to make contacts. If you can give things, remind of things, you're coming from contribution and adding value all the way through to the end of the year. So it's a big marketing content planning calendar. And again, it's not just things you set in an email and forget. There's things we can do, right? There's things we can do. That's how we come from contribution and add value. The other part of this is the charity marketing calendar, right? Different ways to add values to your community. I love it when you add value to nonprofits, charities, service groups, things like that. You can see on here, we're going to charity, we're going to spotlight other businesses, we're going to do pop lights, we're going to newsletter topics, videos, video ideas. Every single month, we're going to try to fill this in. So we're covering things every single month throughout the year. Okay. Different things you can do for your community and add value. The more you can get out there and advertise ways you're giving and what you're going to give to the people, you can make more contacts because you're coming from contribution and adding. You're not annoying people. You're not just selling all the time. Yeah, I mean, yes, you got to sell a little bit. Don't get me wrong, but it's a game of contacts. We try to teach our agents to set up an SOI database contact plan where you're always staying first of mind with all your agents. We require them, through social media touches to do over 100 contacts a year. So it's a combination of, videos, texts, video texts, direct message, emails, some phone calls, client events, engagement on social media, liking and commenting and sharing posts, all of those on a regular basis throughout the year. We got to have things that we're not just selling. We can't just do like just listen, just sold, with the people we know all day long. It's like a constant open house commercial. You're going to turn people off. If you're asking for business 24/7, same deal, man. You're going to turn people off. You got to come from contribution and add value, give back to your community, give to them, invite them to your events, invite them to participate in different, charities and service groups, Kiwanis Lions, Rotary, things like that, nonprofits, Boys and Girls Club, YMCAs, United Way, all of those different things. Be that person that gives and watch what comes back to you, right? That's really, really important out there. So now we can actually plan the year and actually have easy, actionable activities so long as we pull this up. Now, it's one of the things we do at ICC when we coach them, right? Every week, we already know what the client's the agent's 135 is. So we know what to work on. We have content calendars planned out. So every single week, we're making sure that we're actually doing the activities on the 135 around what's on their calendars. So we're hitting their goals and we can push forward that way. And all of a sudden, we got daily activities. We got weekly activities. The idea that, you're going to do all this business planning and then actually make yourself do all the activities you intend to do, that's going to be really, really tough. Okay. I'll tell you right now, be self-aware that you need someone to hold you accountable. So at least get on that coaching consult and see what that looks like. All right, guys, have a wonderful holiday season. Have a very happy new year. Hope to see you a lot more soon. Bye, guys. I'm out.